Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's first video. Going to have a look at the weather next week, 10 days. For today's first video, usually on a Saturday we would be doing weekend forecast, but I'll put it back 24 hours, so weekend forecast will be with you tomorrow on Christmas Eve, covering the full sort of Christmas and New Year week. So that'll be tomorrow. This is going to have a look at the week to 10 day weather situation, so we'll cover the Christmas New Year period. In any case, it goes up to the 3rd of January. If we've got time at the end, we'll also have a look at CFSV2 for the next month, just to throw that in. And there could be some snow just after Christmas. And tonight, I think we're going to update Snow Watch, see what the snow potential might be for sort of the post-Christmas period. So that'll probably be with you around 7 o'clock this evening. Before I get on with that, just to say a big thank you to everybody for doing their Christmas shopping through the Christmas shop. Been a huge success again this year. I haven't got the link to it on the homepage. Somebody asked me about the link to Christmas shop. I haven't got the green button now. I've removed that. But actually, if you just scroll down this page, there's a list of buttons, blue buttons, and it's under Garage Shop, not under the Christmas shop. Because the shop is actually there all year round. I just don't plug it in the videos. So, obviously it's too late now to do Christmas shopping, but if you've got any shop to do at Amazon at any point through the year, you can get to the shop page from the blue button that's here on the home page, and then from there, just do as we have been doing. Go through the Amazon banners, and at any point through the year, you can do your shopping at Amazon via Gas Weather. It's a big thank you to everybody for doing their Christmas shopping this year. So, let's get on with today's update. We're going to begin by having a look at the Central England temperature. This is where we currently are, provisional to yesterday, 22nd of December. So, provisionally, we're at 4.6. An anomaly of 0.2 of a degree below average. Once we have today's CT number in tomorrow, this is probably going to go above average for the first time, more or less this month. It may have gone a little bit above average for a few days during the first week of the month, but overall it's been solidly cooler than average. However, this is moving up rapidly now with this very mild weather that we've got. I think the chances of a cold and average month, we did think when we did the December month ahead forecast, also when we did the winter forecast, we did think that a colder December was likely this year, potentially had a decent chance having a colder than average month. But I think the chances of that are diminishing. There will be some more cold weather next week, which should negate this warm weather a little bit. But I think overall we're probably pitching the CT now, and I assume it's more or less the same for the UK-wide temperatures. We'll know about that when we get into the start of January. But I think we are pitching it now very close to average, so we could come out on either side of average, but I don't think it's going to be a great deviation this month. But I thought we probably would have a decent chance of a cold and average month, so a little bit disappointing really if you want a colder month. It just to show you how difficult it is these days to get colder than average months in the UK. It really is always a struggle now to get a colder than average month. Looked like this was a decent chance of one, but I don't think we're going to quite pull that off. As I say, it's not going to be a huge deviation either way. So not a particularly mild month, of course. You have that cold weather through the first half of the month. But these days, when it gets mild, it isn't just slightly mild. When it gets mild, it's always very mild. It's always exceptionally mild, or it seems to be always exceptionally mild. So that's the reason why it's always such a struggle in the modern era to be able to get colder than average months. So I think the chance of a cold and average December have been diminished a lot. Won't be a great deviation either way. This is 500 millibar height anomaly flowchart from the PSU website from from PSU website, from the GFS model for the next 7 to 10 days. Again, we haven't got the E70F on the top, as I would normally start off with. That's still showing a blank space. No idea what the problem is at the moment with the Penn State University getting these charts together. But we got the GFS. This is what the GFS is showing for the next 7 to 10 days. Remember, blur extrapolates to low pressure red and orange extrapolates to high pressure. Got a deep, deep trough of low pressure in over the northwest of Europe. A strong jet stream is going down through America. Cold trough bringing real blasts of winter into many northern, central and eastern parts of America. They don't struggle to get colder than average months over there. And we've got this very, very strong jet stream coming across the Atlantic and into Europe. Now, that jet stream is on something of a southerly track, so there will be the chance of entrenching some colder air into this trough once we get after Christmas. And I think overall the message as we go into the post-Christmas to New Year period is that it's going to be very, very unsettled, could actually be quite storming at times, and there'll be a mix of alternating air masses, so sometimes it'll be quite cold, and with some wintry potential for northern parts in particular, and other times it will be fairly mild, and that's especially so in the south, and probably quite a lot of heavy rain there as we go through the Christmas to New Year period. This is the GFS Ensemble chart. We're looking at Northampton today, just down the road from where I am. This is showing surface temperatures and precipitation for the next couple of weeks. So we're going through the final week of December, which is just here, to the first week of January, which is over there. This is where we're starting off at right now, around 10 degrees Celsius, very mild. Going to keep it very mild for the next 2 or 3 days. Then a drop in temperature takes place over or just after Christmas, and between that Christmas to New Year period, where it actually goes really quite cold for a couple of days around the 27th, 28th of December, and then heading up to New Year, that's the 1st of January just there, we start to see those temperatures lifting back up, going back close to 10 degrees Celsius for a while, before maybe beginning to drop again as we go through that first week of January, possibly a little bit of a cooling trend taking place then. So really up and down with the temperatures, real roller coaster continuing with our weather as we go through into the start of 2018. For precipitation, lots of dry weather to come at Northampton over the next couple of days up to Christmas. Then it turns much more unsettled after Christmas and going into the new year. Lots of precipitation spikes coming through, so showers, longer spells of rain. And when we have this dip in the temperature just here, there may be the chance of something a little bit wintry taking place then. This is the snow depth chart for Leeds. So I'll just throw this in because there is the chance for northern parts of England in particular for some quite heavy snowfalls as we go through sort of Christmas to New Year. So that's 26th of December, Boxing Day just there. That's 28th of December just there. This is 27th just here. And you'll see all these spikes. Those are individual ensemble members that are producing snow in Leeds in the north of England as we go through into that post-Christmas to New Year period. So there is a fairly decent chance there, if we believe that, of seeing some snow across particularly northern parts of England, I think, from Boxing Day through to around the 28th of December. Further south, I think it's a little bit more problematic. If we have a look at Northampton for the snow row, you will see that the snow spikes are far fewer there. Now, we do still have some snow spikes, particularly focusing around the 27th to the 28th, just here. We have got some snow spikes, but it appears that it's further north that the risk of snow between Christmas and New Year is rather better. And if we was to go any further south than Northampton, say to southern, southeast parts of England, then the chance of snow would really be very diminished. So I think we're probably focusing maybe on the North and West Midlands, possibly on Wales, towards northern England, perhaps into Scotland for the chance of some snow. Maybe Northern Ireland too, for chance of some snow between Christmas and New Year. We will do Snow Watch later on. We'll do Snow Watch later on today, and we'll sort of have a look a little bit more in depth at the snow risk for that Christmas to New Year period. Temperature anomalies for the next week. This going from the 23rd of December through to New Year's Eve are coming out milder than average. We're not suffering this mild weather alone. If you don't want it mild, of course, if you want it mild, this is really good news, and some people do like mild weather. So, whichever way you look at it, most parts of Europe are milder than average, and actually the greatest anomalies to average, as has been the case all month, still continue to be across many central and eastern parts of Europe. over in the northwest of Europe, we're not deviating all that far from average, to be honest. And that's because after Christmas, it does get a little bit colder. Precipitation anomalies for the next week, 23rd to 31st of December, looking like that. Average to above average with precipitation across much of the UK and Ireland as well. Over in America, winter is really biting over Christmas and up to the new year. These are the temperature anomalies for the United States. Many central and eastern parts of America being plunged into the freezer. Down across Florida, it's a little bit warmer there, and out to the west of the states, temperature anomalies are above average there. But generally, many of the populated areas in the north, central, and eastern parts of America looking really cold, and up towards Canada, so this northern part, temperature anomalies there are around 20, I think this is in Fahrenheit, 20 Fahrenheit below normal, so really exceptionally cold for, dangerously cold, the northern states of America over Christmas and up to New Year. Precipitation-wise in America, so many of those northern states where it's coldest, it's actually drier than average. Drier than average over in the west of America too, and drier than average for Florida. If you're off to have a bit of winter sunshine to Florida over Christmas into New Year, it looks pretty decent there. This area just here, so these sort of southeastern and eastern states where we've got above average precipitation, I think a lot of that will be snow. So there's a bit of a snow corridor opening up there through those sort of southeastern and eastern parts of America between or for the next week, Christmas, up towards the new year. A lot of snow to come there potentially. Coming back close to home, this is how the GFS is picking things up for Christmas Day. So mild southwesterly winds for England and Wales, a little bit colder for Scotland and Northern Ireland with outbreaks of rain. Moving through to Boxing Day, that low pressure clears away to the east, it turns the winds into the north, so it'll turn quite cold from Christmas Day to Boxing Day, and there could be wintry showers up in the north as well. Then we bring this area of low pressure in from the Atlantic later on Boxing Day and through to the 27th of December, next Wednesday. That could well bring outbreaks of rain to much of England and Wales, but as that rain engages with the cold air, it might turn to snow through parts of Wales, the North Midlands, and up into Northern England. Exact track of that low pressure as ever in these situations will be critical to see where the rain-snow divide is, and we will have a look at that with Snow Watch tonight. Further north of that, into Scotland and Northern Ireland, we've just got these cold northerly winds, probably bringing wintry showers. Stays cold into the 28th of December as well, with this little ridge building across the country, so I would suspect probably quite frosty early and late. 28th of December. By the 29th, we see the winds swinging back into west and southwest again as the next area of low pressure moves in from off the Atlantic. That's bringing more rain with it, some quite heavy spells of rain, and also starting to drag up some slightly milder air as well. We saw it on those temperature anomalies. Around the 29th, 30th, the temperatures are going to start to recover again. Heading up towards the new year, looks very unsettled. Low pressure is around the country, so there'll be spells of rain, quite strong winds at times as well. Could be some gales mixed in with that. Generally quite mild, I would have thought, for the south up towards the new year. A little bit colder, though, into the north. That's how the GFS looks on the first day of the new year, and we're going to find that it's quite cool and showery potentially at that point. But by the 2nd of January, yeah, you've guessed it, the next area of low pressure is rattling in, bringing the next spell of heavy rain and gale force winds, and then we probably keep those unsettled winds going, unsettled weather going through that first week of January. This is how the east end of F is looking, so generally mild in the south on Christmas Day, a little bit colder and more unsettled into the north. This is how things look on Boxing Day, or at midnight on Boxing Day. So we take the system across the country, brings quite a lot of heavy rain on Christmas night, maybe some snow across parts of Scotland on Christmas night as well. Again, we will detail all of this in Snow Watch later. That's how things look on the 27th. So that's that area of low pressure that the GFS is pushed across the whole of England and Wales. Now, the ECF has that further south, so it's more into southern England, and consequently, the snow risk with that would be further south as well. So Boxing Day to the 27th of December, that could be bringing snow more widely across parts of Wales, the Midlands, even where I am, and possibly in some parts of East Anglia as well. So that's quite interesting. The exact track of this low pressure is not pinned down, and if it was to take this sort of track, it would bring the snow risk further south with it from Boxing Day to the 27th of December. 28th of December looks cold and quite wintry, really. The winds are in from the north, and I suspect there would be more wintry showers, particularly across the northern parts of the country. But by the 29th, the winds are reverting back into the west again, so it's becoming a little bit milder, and we're bringing spells of rain back in from off the Atlantic. Then we run up to New Year. It stays very unsettled going into the New Year period. Low pressure is never far away, so there's showers or if not longer spells of rain coming through here going up to New Year's Eve. And for the south, it's quite mild at this point. For the north, it's a lot colder. There is a divide, so somewhere on that divide, I would suspect southern Scotland may be most prone, could get something wintry. That's how things look on New Year's Day with the E72F. We're turning winds back into the northwest, so quite cold and showery for the first day of 2018, but by the 2nd of January, we're bringing the next low pressure through, so more gale force winds and bouts of heavy rain are waiting in the wings then as we go through to the 2nd of January. And that probably carries on through the opening week of January as well. Is there any sign of this Atlantic-driven weather relenting? We'll just have a quick look at the CFS V2 again for the next month. So these are 500 millibar heights broken down into 10-day periods. The first 10-day period taking us from the 23rd to 29th. It looks unsettled. We've got low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic. We have got this high pressure down to our south, but it's an increasingly weakening feature overall, bringing jet stream through, so it looks very unsettled in the week ahead. That continues up to week 2 as well. This is the 30th of December to the 5th of January. Very unsettled, below average heights out to the west. Let's get rid of that. So again, we've got low pressure out to our west, and we're going to get rid of that and start again. So we've got low pressure out to our northwest, and we're bringing the flow and the jet stream through as well. That looks very unsettled, potentially quite stormy for the end of the year and into the start of January. There could be severe gale force winds coming through with that, bouts of heavy rain as well. This is how week 3 is looking, still very unsettled. The trough is perhaps lifting out a little bit, pushing more towards the northwest. Heights might be starting to rise to our south. Jet stream is possibly lifting a bit further north too. It is still an unsettled week there from the 6th to 12th of January. But perhaps not quite as stormy, quite as wet as it is around the New Year period. And then we go through to week 4 and we see signs of quite a significant change. This is the 13th to the 19th of January. Suddenly we start to raise heights through the UK and into Western Europe. They're extending back towards high pressure, but a northern blocking sort of feature around here. So that might be the start of the weather getting itself into a much colder situation. We might be starting to see the flow and the jet stream beginning to do something rather like that. We'll certainly be bringing back the risk of frost. If this high pressure was to centre itself around here, it looks like it probably is trying to have a go at doing that. Eventually, we will maybe begin to open the doors to easy winds. So around the middle of January, we might start to see winter beginning to bite back. And this time, that bite back might happen from the east. But it's a very long way off. It's week 4 anomaly. So obviously there's a lot of uncertainty associated with that. Essentially, for the next week to 10 days, we are looking at very unsettled conditions. We're going to be turning unsettled really from Christmas Day onwards, starting now actually in the far north, but for most of the parts of the country it'll be from Christmas Day onwards, and then Christmas to New Year very unsettled, quite cold at times as well, particularly around Boxing Day to the 28th of December, and then into the New Year it just stays very unsettled, quite stormy also, potentially at times with showers or long spells of rain. Right, so that's today's first video done. This evening we're going to do Snow Watch, see what the snow risk is for sort of Christmas Day to around the 28th of December. So come back for that this evening. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.